I encourage everybody I know to get chickens. I love it when people get chickens, right? But I want you to have all the information. There are definitely things you need to know, like how loud they are, before you get chickens. So let's talk about it. Hello, friends. Welcome to Chickenlandia. My name is Dahlia. I'm a backyard chicken educator, also known as the president of Chickenlandia. Raising chickens has been the best way for me to find peace and joy in my life, and I want to help you find that too.
Binky! Do you not want to be held right now, Binky? I understand. You sure are cute, though.
This is Binky. Say hi, Binky. See, why wouldn't you want to have this? So much fun. I'll tell you why. We are coming towards the end of baby chick season, but even so, I know a lot of you out there are still kind of thinking, okay, is this the year for me to get chickens? And in my heart, I really think, yes, it is, but there's some really important things that you should know, because what I see year after year, because I've been doing this a long time, is that people are really excited. They get into it and they really haven't been told some very important things you should know about chickens before you get started. So that's why I'm here today. I want to share some things with you. This is going to be a nice short video, but I think it'll be worth it, especially if you're on the fence right now. Okay, so this first one is actually kind of funny considering how loud my chickens are being right now. But I do want to tell you, even if you don't get rooster... Okay, I'm trying to shoot a video. Oh my gosh. So, okay, I'm gonna tell you something. That chicken is not being harmed in any way. That chicken just laid an egg and she's super excited about it. And this is how she lets the world know that she laid an egg. Hens will sing what is called the egg song after they lay an egg. Now, not every hen does this. There are breeds that do it a little bit less, but every female chicken and roosters can sing the egg song, and they can do it for like 15, 30 minutes. It can be very loud. All of the other chickens can join in with them. And a lot of times people don't realize this. They think, oh, I'm just getting hens. I'm not going to get roosters. My neighbors won't know if I get chickens if I only get hens and I don't have any roosters. And that is just not the truth. It is very likely that even if you only have hens and even if you only get the breeds that someone said, oh, these are quiet breeds, that your neighbors are going to know about it. So if you live in an HOA or if you live somewhere where you're not allowed to have chickens, you really need to think hard about what you're going to do if you get caught and you have to get rid of your chickens. I'm not telling you don't break the law or break the law. I'm not telling you either of those things. I'm saying always have a contingency plan, because if you live in a place where you're not allowed to have chickens, you know, it's possible you will have to get rid of them, and that's always really hard. Okay, so here's another thing that I really want to stress to you, and there's a lot of memes about this online, and it's a kind of a funny joke within the chicken keeping community, but chicken math is a real thing. And what I mean is, it is very easy to get a lot of chickens, especially when you're first starting out and you're like, oh my gosh, this breed is so cute, and oh my gosh, I'd love to have a little more of this breed. And sometimes what can happen is people go overboard, especially in the beginning, and they end up with more chickens than they really should have on the amount of property they have available for their chickens. And that is never a good situation. Not just for the chickens, because they're going to be overcrowded, and chickens that are overcrowded can have problems. They can get sick, they can get parasites, they can bully each other, all kinds of things can happen that you don't want, especially if this is your first time having chickens. You don't want to deal with that kind of stuff. But also, you know, your neighbors can get upset, and I wouldn't blame them. If they see a situation and it's like, wow, that's really not a good situation, they might get upset about that, and it'll just cause problems. We don't want that. We want our chickens to be happy, and we want to give them the best life that we can give them. So make sure at the beginning that you don't go overboard. The other thing I'm going to tell you about this, and this is like the best advice you're ever going to get, if you can. build a bigger coop than what you think you need, or buy a bigger coop than what you think you need. When you get plans for a coop, or when you buy a coop, it's gonna say, this will fit 4 to 6 hens or whatever. And that is true. Oh my gosh. Gallagher. Oh, he's being so rude. Gallagher, you need to be nicer, okay? That was rude. You need to ask permission. He's young, and this is his first spring, so he's acting like a fool. Okay, I lost my train of thought. So basically, what I want to tell you is chickens need at least 2 to 4 square feet of space in their coop per standard size chicken. 2 square feet of space is pretty small. So if you're going with that, then you need to make sure that they have additional areas outside of their coop where they can get away from the elements. Because you need to always think about like the worst case scenario. Like let's say it's the winter time and your chickens have to be in their coop for a week or longer. Are they gonna go stir crazy? Is it gonna be enough room for them in the coop for that long? So those are the things that you need to think about. The other thing is, people always get more chickens than they think they're gonna get. You just need to plan for that. And if you don't do it, if you don't end up getting more chickens, then you have more room for the chickens that you have. So it wouldn't be a loss to you. Now, of course, you have to work within the space that you have, the money that you have to build a coop or buy a coop. You can take all that into consideration, but if you can, get a bigger coop than you think you need. And that is really important advice. Another piece of information that you need in order to make an informed choice. Chickens do not lay eggs every single day, and they don't lay eggs for their entire lives. You may get production breeds that are really prolific layers, and the first year that you have them, they're laying eggs like basically every single day. And you're like, well, what is she talking about? They do lay eggs every day. Well, that might be so for the first year, but it is very possible and very probable that after that first year, you're gonna see a significant drop in egg production. They're still gonna lay, they're still gonna be great layers, but it's not gonna be every day. And then the following year, it'll be less. And then the following year, it'll be less. And if you are having them lay over winter, and that would mean putting supplemental light into their coop, like adding light to their coop to make the days longer, because chickens need a certain amount of hours of daylight in order to lay. It doesn't have anything to do with the temperature. It has to do with how much daylight there is in the winter. So usually chickens will take a break in the winter and they won't lay. Maybe if it's their first winter, they will lay through it, but normally they will take a break. So if you have supplemental light for them over the winter and they lay through the winter, their laying life will probably be shorter, and it is also possible that their lives might be a little bit shorter. I'm not saying don't do this, especially if you have like an egg business, you may have to do this, or if eggs are a really important protein for you to have over the winter time, you may have to do this. So no judgment, but you should have that information that they're famous for their eggs. They lay lots of eggs, but they do take breaks, and they'll take that break in the winter. They will very likely take a break in the fall when they are molting. That usually happens after they're a year old. They will take a break in the summer if it gets really hot. And so a lot of times people are like, oh my gosh, I had to buy eggs, and they're really surprised by it, and they're like, why am I feeding these chickens and I'm not getting any eggs? Well, there are ways around that. Like, you can freeze eggs for the times when your chickens are taking a break. That's what I do, but you should know about it. You should know, okay, in the springtime, if I have extra eggs, I should freeze some of them, because in the winter I'm not gonna be getting as many eggs. In the fall when they're molting, I'm not gonna be getting as many eggs. So I need to prepare for that. And that's all I want for you. I want you to be prepared so that you have a good experience. So like I said, I'm not saying any of these things because I want to discourage you from keeping chickens. In fact, I really want you to keep chickens, and I want you to have a good experience. I feel so strongly about it that I actually created an online course for beginners and intermediate people like you, and it's called Backyard Chickens 101, a chicken course for everyone because I really feel like chickens are for everybody. So there are two really big perks when you take this course. Number one is you have direct access to me for as long as the course is online in its current form. So you can go in and take the course and ask me all the questions you want. And I really try to get back to my course students within about 24 to 48 hours, unless there's like some emergency going on with me or there's like a holiday. I have to prioritize my course students. I get hundreds of questions, like every week, hundreds of questions. People email me questions, people send me questions on Messenger, people ask me questions on YouTube, and there's no way that I can answer all of them. If I did, that's all I would do. I wouldn't have time to create all the free content that I create. So when it comes to people needing answers from me, I do prioritize my course students. So just know that you will have that access to me if you decide to take the course. The other thing about the course is that you can take it at your own pace. So it's not like you have to be somewhere at 6 o'clock every Wednesday for a month or whatever. You can buy the course, you can start taking it in the middle of the night and finish it at 3 a.m. And you will always have access to that course. So if you want to reference it at any point in your chicken keeping journey, if it is online in its current form, and I don't have any plans on changing it anytime soon, you will have that access. So those are two things that I think people really like about the course. The other things are I'm going to show you how to keep chickens more naturally without putting a whole bunch of medicines into their bodies unnecessarily. I'm going to talk about user-friendly coops and the things that you should look for when you're buying or building a coop. I will show you how to deter predators from getting your chickens because everything in the world likes to eat chicken and so much more. There's a lot of information in this course. I'm really proud of it. I just think it would be something that would help you feel more confident when you're going into your chicken keeping adventure, which I definitely think you should do. If you want more information about the course, you can click the link that is on the screen right now. I will also leave a link for you in the description. But even if I don't see you in the course, I hope I do, but even if I don't, the one thing I want you to know above anything else is that you are always welcome in Chickenlandia. Bye!